I am Alexander Neon Parsons, and welcome to Ask Alaskan. So, yeah, I'm just gonna touch on a little bit of the stuff I talked about yesterday, a little bit of my own personal history. Uh, yeah, yesterday I showed off my Super Red toy box and all the stuff inside and where all these things are coming from. And well, it just got me thinking and reminiscing about uh, what that was like for me as a kid. So I just wanted to try and paint a little bit more of a picture because I really want you to think about this because it affects the stream that you're watching right now. And it hopefully will help explain my behavior, especially in the game and why I choose to play the way that I do. Uh, Particularly with this game, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This game is, out of all the Dragon Ball Z games I've played or seen, this one is the most, or has the closest feeling to playing with the toys, which I did a lot of growing up. And I just want to talk about that a little bit because it's really paying off for me now. And, gosh, this is, I don't really know how to say this, but, well, I guess I'll just start at the beginning. So, yeah, as you know, I would take my toys to school or daycare or wherever I had to go, where there were adults watching a bunch of kids. And man, so Pokemon first came out right around the time I was in elementary school, right? And very few people understood anime. It's a lot easier to explain to people now, but back then it was really new. And I am in Alaska, so also keep in mind all of this is happening in Fairbanks, Alaska. But that didn't, I mean, we still have toy stores. I mean, there were kids with Pokemon cards, and they quickly got banned from school, which I did not like, but I had to deal with that. And like I said yesterday, I invested in the plastic toys that everybody else said was a huge waste of money. But, you know, I mean, here they are. I still have them, and they don't make those anymore, not all of them. And like I said, it's pain. What did I do? Oh, that's right, my game crashed. That's what happened. So it saves before you go in. That's good. But yeah, my game did crash yesterday. It's still doing that in card battles. Anyway, so with Pokemon cards being banned, I would go to school with these toys, hoping to sort of fill that child economy hole. See, I was always fascinated with playing games and using my imagination. And I was told at the time, growing up, that the power of imagination is unlimited and you can play any kind of game you can imagine, and it was great and all that. But surprisingly few kids that I played with really understood the concept of playtime the way I understood it. And that was just so weird. That was weird to me. Like, going to a place, seeing these kids same age as I am, and for whatever reason, even even other kids collecting the same kinds of toys, especially Pokemon toys. And this mostly happened in the summertime because they weren't as popular at the school where I went, so it would have to be at a place where kids from a bunch of different schools could all end up at like the Boys and Girls Club or something. And starting especially with Pokemon. See, I had I would go there and get whatever I like. I mean, sometimes it would be Pokemon, sometimes it'd be Dragon Ball Z, Digimon, Monster Rancher is a big one for me. And how great was Monster Rancher? It was kind of a weird show. It didn't make any sense, but the fight scenes were really cool. And just I just gotta say, the monsters, cool, well designed. Pretty much every monster was unique, and they had this whole world, but it was a video game. Like it was established in the first episode. I think that whole world they were in was a video game world, and that's how that kid got there. But I was just impressed with the way that kid would just run straight up to these monsters and literally just start punching them, like just fighting with his bare hands against these like walking dinosaurs and stuff. And that was cool because it's weird because like he knows it's a game and he was like the world champion at the game, but in that game you're a monster. Like you play as one of the monsters fighting other monsters, but that didn't affect the kid. His name was Genki, I think. But yeah, I just like that show because the toys were cool. I mean, it was one of those shows that was just trying to sell toys right up there with Metabots, and they're good, solid toys. But people, kids, my peers at the time would not understand the show and then equate that to the toys having no value. And yet, the Pokemon cards they understood completely. That was what was weird to me, because the Pokemon cards have got absolutely nothing to do with the show or the Game Boy game or the story of Pokemon like at all. It's just a card game, and yet it was the most popular part, to the point where I would bring like a handful of Pokemon toys and try to play a game of Pokemon, and the kids would just straight up not know what to do. Oh man, it's hard to describe. I'll just show you. So I'll take these because they're gonna fall anyway. So it's Pokemon, right? They battle. So here's yours, right? Pikachu. See? There's your guy, and then here's my guy. It's a little Charmander, see? And sorry, the lighting's not great for that, but whatever. There, that's a little better. And like I would give this she's a girl, by the way. I would give you this Pikachu, right? And then I'd take Charmander, and like the way kids would just hold them like so and be like, Pikachu, Thundershock, and go like, psst, and then wait for me to do something. And I'm like, well, okay, you can do that, but guess what? My Charmander's gonna move over here, and you missed. And they would be like, what? No, I didn't. I'm like, yeah, you did. Do you watch the same show? Like, and it was, yeah. Some kids get it. Some kids get that real Pokemon would move and try to avoid attacks and, you know, react like more like actual animals or something. I mean, you could talk about a Metabot malfunctioning or something, but you gotta make that part of the story. You can't just have your characters sit there and not move just because that's what you're used to in the Game Boy version. And these are kids who would spend money or make their parents spend money to take them to the movie theater. Of course, it was only like $2 back then, but still. And go watch the movie. And then when they actually get their hands on the toy, they don't want to, like, they don't actually want to play. And that boggles my mind. You know all the Pokemon, you know all their attacks, you know if you know their name, then you know all their lines. Like, you could do a Pikachu, you could do that, but like, so that's what I mean when I say using your imagination. And because, you know, you could do that. I mean, you could recreate the battles that you went through on the Game Boy. But why? Because you already did that on the Game Boy. That's what it's for. Now, to be fair, I was using the original Game Boy, and I didn't have a Game Boy Color, so Pokemon Red and Blue, you can't play those. There's a little, if it doesn't have that notch in the top of it won't work. But Pokemon Yellow was the first one I did. That was the one. That was the one where you had the little Pikachu that would follow you around, and I think that's when they added the feature of whether or not your Pokemon would like you. Like, I think that was the one where they started doing that. But yeah, and then later I got a Game Boy Advanced. I played some Super Mario on there, and like, I tried to play Ocarina of Time, but I don't think that's like the Zelda game to start on, because it was confusing as hell for me, and I didn't finish it. But that takes me back to Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which I'm playing now. And what I enjoy most about it is just the level of detail. I mean, they even advertise, don't just fight like Goku, live like Goku. This is Gohan still. But, like, for example, this. They added Flying Nimbus into the game, which I know I've gushed over before, but they didn't have to do that. And they even specifically, they even know which characters can ride on it and which ones can't. I mean, have you ever heard of a Dragon Ball Z game that has drivable vehicles in it? And that's why I started Fishing Friday and Wishful Wednesday, so I could have 2 days a week. 2 days a week where, oh shit. so I could have, oh my god, there's no brakes. There's no brakes, there's just forward and reverse. But yeah, I wanted on my schedule 2 days a week that wouldn't be just battles. I do have a playlist for that. But I did sincerely want some time to appreciate stuff like that. That lens flare, the guy walking around who's a hippopotamus, and in this game they actually explained what the deal is with these beast people. Apparently there is potion, some kind of drink that you can get in a store that transforms you into an animal. Although some people, like Oolong, are just born talking animals. Oh, and they have red legs. And you could argue about whether or not this counts as open world. I mean, technically it doesn't. They're just really big maps, but you can't travel from one map to the other uninterrupted. You have to load them up. So, but that's okay. I mean,
here we go.
You can fly around for literally for hours on one map and not run out of stuff to do, which is such a big deal for me because it's a video game, right? Like, again, I am used to playing with toys, okay? And that is how I learned how to do all the cool stuff you see me doing here, because I spent many game hours playing with just these same exact toys you see here. So, like, no TV, no console, no Game Boy Color, just the toys, right? And I did have Pokemon cards, but nobody really to play with, right? So, often playing by myself, but I did have lots of game hours with other people. But it gets complicated. See, there's a whole social order that goes with bringing your toys to school. I mean, first of all, you have to know the risks, right? The first thing about taking your toys to school is at any time the grown-ups can take them away. So it's on you to be responsible with them. That means absolutely no playing during class. Absolutely. If they see a toy out while they're trying to talk, they will take it, and that's it. Okay? Hence the toy box. All right? And usually the teacher would let me keep that at my desk or like under my desk as long as that was it. And I only bring it out for like recess or something. And if you take it out for recess and you lose a toy, that's on you. Okay? So don't do that. That being said, I never lost a toy at school. Ever. Never. Not once. Which is not to say that people didn't walk off with them. That happened all the time too. And I want to talk about that because I have 10 minutes left. And because the more you get to know me, the more you'll hear me use the phrase clearly defined and fair system of rewards and punishments, which is a phrase that is super cringe and nobody likes it, least of all me, but this is how you organize your playtime. Like, I went through my entire childhood waiting for the adults to put two and two together, and it never happened. Trust me, if you leave the adults in charge of playtime, they're most likely gonna fuck it up in a way that's just no fun for anybody. And you know what I'm talking about. You're watching Twitch, okay? So you know what I'm talking about. That's why really cool games like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot are few and far between. So if I see a game like this that has everything I want and no bullshit between me and the fun part, I'm gonna play the absolute living fuck out of that game because it's there. Now, back to that cringe phrase, clearly defined and fair system of rewards and punishments. Well, it's like this. And it's just easier if I show you. Oops. every time I open that drawer. So, this is the toy box, right? It's mine, and everything in it's mine too. That's part of the rules, alright? It's like the other kids need to know that's my property and the toys in there are mine. Even if the adults are not gonna, they're not gonna itemize them, they're not gonna make a list. The adults do not care. They don't. So you gotta be responsible for your own toys. So when, like, this is a speech I'm giving to whoever wants to play. And it's important too, because when you put a toy in a kid's hand, until he or she gives it back, it's their toy in their mind. It just is. That's just how kids are. So you just gotta accept that. Like, a kid with a toy is a kid with a toy. It's like a dog with a bone. You just can't expect them to be something else. Which is why it's so important that they be able to pick the right toy. So you gotta have options. You can't just make everybody play the same toy. And don't underestimate doubles. You see, I got a tiger right here and another one over there. Now, yes, after all these years, gosh, look how many dark hairs I have. 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's a commander dark hair. He's got a helmet. There was one in here without ears, too, that I saved, but I forget what happened, but there was a story there. Yeah. And somebody fucked this Spopovich up. I don't know what happened there, but somebody got a hold of a red marker towards the end there. But that doesn't matter. So, yeah. Oh, and this is not even half of the original collection. This whole top part was completely full. I mean, take all of that, put it in here, and then there was about half of it that I ended up selling. This is just the half that I kept on purpose. So even the ones in there that look broken, I must have saved them for a reason. I mean, I assume they have more sentimental value than the others. And also because you can't sell broken toys. But trading is fair, but both sides have to agree. And you can't trade somebody else's toy for them. It has to be your toy to trade. And okay, the most difficult part to talk about is the punishments part, because as a child you do not have any authority to punish anybody because you're a child. You just don't have the right to do anything to anybody. And all of the other kids know that about you. So when I walk up like I'm king of the world with a treasure chest in my hand, there's always, usually a little boy, who decides for themselves they gotta fuck it up somehow. Like, they're surely Alex won't notice if you just take one, right? They probably won't know, like, but no, I do notice. Trust me. You know why? Because I paid money for these. That's why. Okay? You know how people pay money for stuff? That's me. That's what I did. My parents did not buy any of this. Not that computer I'm streaming on. Not the desk it sits on. Well, yeah, the basement in the house, I guess. But no. My parents did not spend a penny on anime. Trust me. No, not for me, not at all. No. I bought this stuff, okay? I did with my money, and that's hard for a kid. But trust me, I worked for all of it, and that's why it's still here. And when you say that to a teacher, they believe you, okay? Because they know it's true. They know you've earned the value of $1, and after hearing that speech, the absolute last thing they want to do is have a talk with your parents. So that's why it's important to pay for your own toys and to know the value of $1, because your teachers know the value of $1, and that shit works. Now, as I was saying before, coming back to punishments, you don't have authority because you're a kid. So when somebody steals your toys, and it's gonna happen, there's no good way to get them back. Trust me. Like, but it's a total two wrongs don't make a right scenario. What you don't want to do, and I've done this, but what you don't want to do is just steal it back. Because then they go tell on you, and now it looks like you're the thief. And try to explain to an adult why I have 2 Nido Kings and no Nido Queen, but the other guy, like, oh my God, there's no anything you say, like, and you can't just explain and like, well, why can't the other guy have one of your Nido King? Like, why can't he have? Because first of all, they're brothers. Second of all, that's not a fair trade. That's not how it works. You gotta give me a Nido Queen for a Nido King, okay? That's what I want, but you don't have that. Look, okay, see, okay, all right, it's in the past. It's in the past. All right, so establish with the authority figures what items are yours first, okay? Bring the thing to school, let them know what it is, and if you have to, let them take it. Like, let the adults, like, if you're really worried, if it's really a problem, they will put it under their own desk and keep it there until recess or free period or whatever, whatever time you got to do this. That's, it's fair. I don't like it, neither do you. Doesn't matter. It's fair. But look, when that way, if you do that, if you take that step, when the inevitable happens and some other kid takes your stuff, at least then you can go to the grown up and say, so and so took my toy. And that is the only way you're gonna get it back. Trust me. If another kid just walked off with your toy and the only thing you have is that's mine, he took it, that does not hold up very well. It just doesn't. And what usually happens is the adult takes it, and if you're lucky, they'll call your parents, and maybe your parents recognize that toy. But let's face it, they don't, because I bought it with my money. They have no idea. My parents still don't know. My dad still calls this guy Gohan. That I can't even tell you, but that's life, okay? That's just how it is. Like, not everybody appreciates anime as much as you do, but it's your money and it's your toys, so it's your responsibility. And I'm telling you from personal experience, when somebody else steals your stuff, the only way to, and there's no good way, but the only way to get it back is to tell the grown-ups and hope for the best. And just be cool about it. Don't, because if you go and make a fuss, they'll ban it for everybody. Trust me. You don't even need to be there. All it takes is one grown-up getting in too much of a thing for them to handle, and they will ban the shit out of it. And once it's banned, you're not even allowed to talk about it anymore. And keep in mind, this is all stuff I learned about physical plastic toys after the Pokemon cards were already gone. That was just, I don't even know what happened. There was, somebody fucked it up for everybody. Kids were getting in fights over unfair trades, and they have a little circle or a diamond or a star in the corner. I feel like the adults didn't do their due diligence. You see how much this bothers me to this day, but it's all connected, right? And that's about all my time for today. I did cancel Fishing Friday, which is why I wanted to make a point about why I do Fishing Friday and Wishful Wednesday. They are part of my stream, they're here to stay, but if I do have to cancel, it's going to be one of those because they're not as important as the training. And you don't have to watch them, I just have to do them. And of course, you can watch all of my past broadcasts on my YouTube channel for free. It's a non-monetized YouTube channel, so even though I don't have the rights for copyright claims or whatever, that doesn't matter because I'm not trying to get paid for them. But that does make it difficult to advertise. So I guess I didn't need to start the game, but I did. Alright, well. So yeah, that's about all I wanted to cover today. Oh, right, here's the card. Oh, my stream crashed, but this is the card I drew yesterday. Soul Tiger. Yeah, see, Yu-Gi-Oh cards never got banned. But they just... A lot of kids, I mean, by then it was too late. At like some schools there was a loophole, and again, like the daycares didn't ban them, so I still had cards. But it's a lot of money to spend on a deck that you might never get to use. I mean, well, it's a whole thing. I mean, there was no Twitch back then, but yeah, okay, I'm finished. Let's save the rest for tomorrow. I'm definitely not going to skip Villainous Saturday. That's my favorite stream of the week. But man, did you see yesterday's stream? Holy cow. Goten and Trunks are a crazy amount of energy. I was like, man, do I even need the Z combos? Like, I'm getting more kills with them just like attacking. Like, Gohan can't even keep up. These kids, oh my god. But yeah, okay. Alright, I'm good. Yeah, see you tomorrow for another Ask an Alaskan and Villainous Saturday. So, which is where I do all the villainous enemies in 2 hours. That'll be fun. Okay. Turn this on. I feel better. I feel better talking about that stuff because it explains a lot when you think about it. And you know what I'm talking about. Yes, you do. Okay. All right. See you tomorrow. I got things to do. Bye.